Today we are looking at a ThermoElectric Dometic cooler that just came in the mail. Dometic says mobile living made easy. This is the Dometic TC-35. Okay, so why did I get this? Well, first of all, if you saw the earlier videos, when I restored my camper, I put in a small little refrigerator, compressor refrigerator that only runs on 110. So I either have to be plugged in at a campsite, or the Yeti will run it, but it's going to draw a lot of juice and it won't run it for very long. So if you've followed along, you see that we are going for about 4 months out west traveling in the camper. And we're going to do a lot of boondocking, a lot of dry camping, a lot of stops just overnight to sleep in cabalas or at a wayside or a free dry camping park. So that isn't going to work because I don't want to constantly be running the generator just to keep that refrigerator inside the camper cold. So I thought, well, what are we going to do with just like eggs, milk, butter, cheese, that kind of thing. So I thought about this. Now, the reason I chose ThermoElectric was because, one, it's a lot less expensive than a compressor refrigerator. They're in the $800 to $1,000 range. ThermoElectric you can get $150 up to $300 or $400. This one was $250 on Amazon. And so a couple advantages of the ThermoElectric. One, they're really super quiet, they're less expensive, they draw less power on the 12 volt, which you can see on the Yeti here. I'm drawing 3.6 amps to cool this down, which on the Yeti this will run for a couple days on the cooler. I don't plan to run it on the Yeti all the time. Obviously this would be plugged into my 12 volt outlet in my truck. So it's just essentially there to keep those specific items cold from the refrigerator in the camper when we're not plugged in or when that refrigerator isn't running. We can keep them cold drinks and that kind of thing in the back of the truck, and then I can transfer them back and forth. Or if we're dry camping, I don't have to run the refrigerator, which is going to use a lot of power. I can simply have this in the back of the truck or in the camper running off the Yeti. So a couple things there that I liked, being able to have those choices to do that. So this comes with a 110 receptacle outlet plug, and obviously right now I have it into the 12 volt of my Yeti. Over here we've got hot and cold, so this will heat as well as cool. Now here's the thing about ThermoElectric. This will only lower the temperature. Now this is according to what I've read in all the reviews on Amazon and the manufacturer's information. It will only go down to about 35 to 40 degrees below the ambient temperature. Ambient temperature meaning wherever this is sitting, whatever the temperature is in the room around this, it's going to lower it 35 to 40 degrees. So if you have this outside and it's 80 degrees out, you're only going to get the interior of this down to 40 to 45 degrees. Okay? My thought was, but if I have this in my pickup truck and it's 85 degrees out in July, we're driving down the road, but we have the air conditioning on inside my Ford F-150, and let's say it's 75 degrees in there, that means I should be able to get this down to 35 degrees, which is perfect for what we want to use it for. So keep that in mind if you're ordering a ThermoElectric cooler. They're not going to make ice, and they're certainly not going to get it down to freezing, especially if you have it in an ambient temperature zone of 75 degrees or above. So this has quite a bit of room actually. I'm going to show you here. come around and look inside, I mean, you could easily get a quart of milk in there, some cheese, butter, meats, half and half, creamer, some soda cans, beer, stuff like that. And then on the front here, you'll notice it's already starting to get cool. On the front, you've got your different hot and cold. Right now you can see the blue is illuminated, so we have it on cold. And then 1 through 7, I have it set right now on the coldest. I just plugged this in, so I'm going to monitor it and see how long it takes to get down to a desirable temperature. Somewhere in the 35 to 40 degree range is what I am shooting for. So back to what we're looking at here. The Yeti, obviously when I don't have this in the truck, I will pull this out at night, carry it into the camper, and then the camper obviously can run off of the Yeti for that evening. In the morning when we're ready to take off, I will move the Yeti back into my truck where I can plug it in to the inverter. I have a 400 watt inverter built into my Ford F-150, so I will plug this back in as we're traveling down the highway, and I will plug this in to the 12 volt outlet in my truck as we are traveling down the highway. So this will stay cool. This will begin to be recharged as we're driving throughout the day, and when we arrive at our destination 3 or 4 hours later, we'll be ready to go again. So I will update you on how long this took to get down to the desired temperature of 35 degrees. It is now, I think we're about 15 minutes into this running. Okay, I may be wrong. This puppy is cold, all right? It's been a little over an hour. I'd say about an hour and 10 minutes that it's been running. And I gotta tell you, it is cold. In fact, I don't know, maybe you can freeze stuff in this. I don't know if you could freeze water to ice, but it's plenty cold. Now, here's the thing. Hour and 15 minutes at 3.4 watts. I started at 99% capacity on my Yeti, and I'm down to 89%. So it used 10% of the lithium battery to get it down to, I'm not kidding you, I wish I had a temperature, but it's cold. So now it will sustain itself, and hopefully it won't draw as many watts. Although I was reading where a compressor, once it reaches its temperature, it will shut off and maintain. I don't think the thermal will. I think this has to, it'll run constantly. So it's probably going to draw 3.4 watts regardless. But still, I'm really happy with that. It's pretty amazing. I'm really excited. And I don't know if I mentioned the little fans here that do the cooling. You can't hear them at all. I mean, you can, but they're super whisper quiet, so no issue there at all. In my next video, we'll take a look at the opposite. We'll try heating something up with it and see how hot it gets. So for now, hit that subscribe button if you like our channel, Rolling with the Roche'z. We appreciate you watching our videos. Hit the bell next to the subscribe button, so when we do load a new video up to YouTube, you'll get an email notification. Until then, we'll see you next time on Rolling with the Roche'z. I'm gonna have to get my skis on.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here